It appeared that Donald Trump welcomed Mark Carney to the White House. You know, the tone was friendly enough when the two men were together in front of the television cameras. But then the president ran the show. At least that was the impression I got. What was your big takeaway from the exchange?
Hey, Sandy, it was an extraordinary moment. Everybody wondered, how would Prime Minister Mark Carney get along with Donald Trump? What would be the vibe, the tone, the body language, that sort of thing? And of course, with all the trade tensions going on between the two countries and Donald Trump's constant talking about the 51st state and trying to annex Canada and erase our border, would that question come up? Well, of course, it did come up. And everyone wondered, would our Prime Minister stand up for Canada? How would he deal with Donald Trump? Well, we got our answer. Take a listen.
It would really be a wonderful marriage because it's two places that get along very well. They like each other a lot.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, you know, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever. But the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together.
Sandy, there was a lot of praise back and forth, which is very unusual for this president. Donald Trump praised Mark Carney, calling him, you know, a terrific guy, saying that he had one of the most historic political comebacks in history. And of course, Prime Minister Carney also praised, but it wasn't over the top. It wasn't saccharine in any way. He said to Donald Trump, you know, you've done a great job securing the border and the war on fentanyl, on the drugs coming across the border. So there was some praise. But you could see there was almost, you know, pain in the Prime Minister's face when he wanted to jump in, when Donald Trump, of course, went on about surpluses and how countries are ripping him off, that sort of rhetoric. But take a listen. It was a really friendly tone.
Regardless of anything, we're going to be friends with Canada. Canada is a very special place to me. I know so many people that live in Canada. My parents had relatives that lived in Canada, my mother in particular. And no, I love Canada.
For Canada, they really wanted a reset. They wanted a return to some kind of relationship. We know that the Prime Minister pressured Donald Trump about lifting the fentanyl tariffs, but he also asked President Trump to stop talking about the 51st state. But we know this president likely won't listen.